Hello everybody, what is up? So it's Monday, which basically means that game week is over, Premier League game week is over, and I'll be doing a roundup of all the game week action that we saw. But for starters, let's start with something else. Let's start with FPL, Fantasy Premier League performance. So as you can see in my team, I did kind of average only, not that great, kind of below average only. सच बताओ तो इसमें एंटोनियो ने लाज बजा ली, वरना तो कपड़े ही फट जाते. और एंटोनियो टू बी ऑनेस्ट एवरी थर्ड टीम का कैप्टन ही था, तो नॉट रियली मच डिफरेंशियल बेनिफिट एक्चुअली. You will see Simicas in this team, but Simicas substitute हो गया था. My first three were Trent, James, and Mings, but Mings unfortunately got a rib injury, and Simicas was in my substitute. Who was anyway had just 1 point because he was subbed in place of Robertson for the last 10 minutes or something. My midfield, before this I used to have Pulisic basically, but Pulisic को तो 2 हफ्तों से वो हो गया था, COVID हो गया, so I had to sub him out. I had to transfer him out for somebody else. So I was at the beginning of the game we confused between किसको लाओ, गुंडोगन को लाओ या ग्रीनवुड को लाओ. But I went with Greenwood. Gundogan would have been a better choice in hindsight, but मैन सिटी का भरोसा थोड़ी ना गार्डियोला किसी को भी खिला सकता है. So I thought that's why Greenwood would be a more safe choice. And so yeah, overall kind of a safe, kind of an average game week for me in terms of FPL. But I'll be making some changes, I guess. I will be making at least 2 changes, if not more. Martinez also is not doing that well. I had high hopes from him, but Aston Villa are conceding a lot of goals. So batao agar comments mein if you guys have any good changes in place, in any good transfer suggestions. But with that covered, let's move on to the main action. But before we actually cover the game week action, let's talk about. I mean, we have to address it. We have to talk about it. The big move, the big transfer move. Ronaldo coming to Manchester United. Obviously, all United fans are going crazy about it. क्या हो गया, क्या हो गया? Everybody was in a crazy sugar rush. My brother included, who's a big United fan. तो वो तो बिल्कुल एक से रोनाल्डो का पोस्टर लगाने का सोच रहा है कि फुल बैक टू यूनाइटेड, होम कमिंग, घर वापसी वाला फुल ऑन वाइब आ गया. And it's actually great for Premier League also, because Ronaldo. I mean, that post by Manchester United announcing of Cristiano Ronaldo coming back home. If you can say that, I think it's one of the most liked sports Instagram posts, which is now what we see as competition. And PSG ka Messi to PSG had like some 7 million or 7 billion likes, and this has like 12 billion or million. I'm getting confused between million or billion, but yeah, I think billion ही होगा because इतने सारे लोग तो है ही Instagram पे. So yeah, there's a different kind of buzz around it, and it'll be fun to see him back in Premier League for sure. It's a great move for Premier League, Ronaldo coming back, and obviously all news are going around that United have already made this much money out of stocks, and वो अभी jersey का भी आएगा. It'll be interesting to see if he gets a 7-number jersey, because a lot of debate around that कि 7 number Cavani देगा कि नहीं देगा, फिर देने के बाद अगर registry के बाद वो change भी हो सकता है कि नहीं. But it'll be weird to see if Ronaldo is not in 7. So for all you know, it's like घर वापसी, so उसके लिए शायद rules change around कर दे, or maybe it would be interesting to see him in a 77 for all you know. But yeah, it's a big thing, and it's good. Especially for all more grown men, because I mean, the younger generation, because 12 साल से तो United में है, he has never seen Ronaldo play for United per se. So it's just more of 30 plus people, people like me who have seen Ronaldo in United. I'm तो Liverpool supporter, but same, United supporters of this age group would be damn excited, because it's like wow. So it'll be fun to see a lot of grown men crying, as me and Anu had also discussed on our podcast. But with that, let's move on to actual game week action, and let's talk about the matches one by one. Starting with the first match, which was Man City versus Arsenal. Side early kickoff, Man City Arsenal. Man City ने कपड़े फाड़ दिए Arsenal के 5-0, which was kind of expected. Let's be honest, everybody saw that coming, and yeah, Arsenal has basically lost 3 matches on the go right now, and they are 20th. Like, they are the bottommost at the table, which is just humiliating to see for Arsenal. This is like a Tottenham fan's dream come true. They are top, Arsenal are down with them 20th pay, and a goal difference also the worst. So I'm really starting to feel, you can't help but feel bad for Arsenal and feel bad for Arsenal fans, especially again because as a Liverpool fan, you have experienced many years of such similar frustrating feelings. Actually, not this bad कि 20वें पे ही आ गए, but still I kind of understand and empathize with that situation. But really, Arsenal is in a bad situation. This after them having the most transfer spend of all Premier League clubs After you have had that much spent, and as a Liverpool person, I don't even want to get started on how much we have spent or not spent. In fact, it's in negative, but. Not really negative Konate का अगर include कर लो तो, but yeah, it's Arsenal is in a bad state right now, and something's got to change right now. Something's really got to change. Arteta, be it Arteta, but you don't even know if it's just Arteta's fault or if it's the whole something majorly with the coaching staff and everything. But for starters, there has to be some kind of show of intent by the owners, and yeah, Arteta's got to go. You cannot the whole trust the process हो गया बहुत बार, but कितना trust करे भाई, इतना ज़्यादा थोड़ी ना process को trust करते रहे. So फाइव डाउन आई मीन एंड आई थिंक विलियन को भी उन्होंने बेच दिया है, विच आई थिंक इज अ गुड मूव ओनली बिकॉज इट्स आई मीन आर्सेनल इज अ टीम ऑफ रेपुटेशन. यू कैन नॉट सो मेनी ऑफ दीज चेल्सी पीपल जस्ट कंसिडर दैट एज कि अरे चलो लंदन में ही रहना है तो अब यहाँ से इधर आ जाते हैं और ये लोग तो है ही. सो दैट्स नॉट द काइंड ऑफ रेपुटेशन आर्सेनल शुड बी हैविंग, एंड आई थिंक फॉर प्रीमियर लीग, फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ प्रीमियर लीग, it's good to see a good Arsenal team. So I hope something happens, something drastic happens. Again, people have been linking Antonio Conte as a manager to Arsenal. I don't see that happening, because who would want to step in this situation right now? I mean, for instance, for a manager also, you would want to step in and kind of have the budget to rebuild the team. Like Nuno Espirito Santos has come in, brought them, and got all the money. But this is you basically getting the recruits of some other managers, so you don't see that what's the benefit of that. So I don't know, somebody of Antonio Conte's repute will even step into this crazy quagmire, but let's see. But something really needs to give, and of course, Man City is on a spree. They are, just getting goals in left, right, and center in case agar baad mein goal difference does matter. Moving on to the next match, which was Newcastle versus Southampton at St James Park, and this was a 2-2 draw. Newcastle kept getting the lead, but Southampton kept coming in. In fact, at the 90th minute itself, Saint Maximin had scored his goal, which he thought would be a winner. He had full on. Saint Maximin मुझे एकदम गरीबों का पॉग्बा वाला फीलिंग देता है. In fact, not गरीबों, maybe more like Wilfried Zaha. गरीबों का विल्फ्रेड ज़ाहा would be a very weird statement to say, but because Pogba तो चलो थोड़ा midfield है, ये तो फिर भी but the flair kind of a thing, Saint Maximin also has that, and his name itself sounds fun to say, Maximin. Saint मतलब it's like Maximin, and so Saint Maximin. But yeah, I like his game also. He's nice on the eye, on the dribbling things and all, and he's one of those players you feel that who could go and achieve a lot of things, but they just don't. But let's see. Let's hope Saint Maximin proves me wrong on that aspect. And yeah, it was a 2-2. Newcastle got a 2-1 lead at the 90th minute, but after that they conceded a penalty, which was converted by David Ward-Prowse. I am hoping to see more and more free kicks by David Ward-Prowse, because he's a crazy specialist in free kicks, and let's see, hope the season gives some nice and interesting free kick goals by David Ward-Prowse. Moving on to the next match, which was Brighton versus Everton, which Brighton lost, and I feel bad about it, because let's face it, it's fun to see Everton lose. Tiny Arms Pickford concede some goals. It's always, as a Liverpool fan, it's fun to see that. And also I like Brighton as a team. So I was not really expecting it, to be honest. A 2-0 loss for Brighton at the hands of Everton. But yeah, that's what it was. And there was a very interesting point in this game, which was around the penalty, which was finally taken by Calvert-Lewin. So when the decision of penalty was given, Richarlison just took the ball and he was like, "अरे मेरे पास बॉल है तो मैं लूँगा penalty और मैं दे ही नहीं रहा हूँ." And he was of the assumption कि अरे बॉल मेरे पास तो मेरी penalty, but side से Benitez भी बोल रहा क्या है भैया, हमने decide किया हुआ था. And Calvert-Lewin is also क्या चल रहा है ये, and then everybody kind of had to tell him कि भाई ऐसे थोड़ी होता है, पहले से plan decide होता है, कोई बॉल धर लिया ऐसे थोड़ी ना हो जाता है. And Calvert-Lewin finally took the penalty and scored from that, which was a very pressurizing situation, because imagine you have to basically snatch the ball from somebody who has put pressure on you and then take a penalty. It's unnecessary pressure. And yeah, he converted that goal, so it was 2-0. And yeah, Everton actually has a decent start right now, courtesy Benitez, but hope to see more Everton losses, because come on, it's natural. I like to see Everton lose. मजा आता देखने में. Next match was West Ham versus Crystal Palace, which was again a 2-2 draw. Again, I was not expecting that. I was expecting West Ham to win the game, particularly seeing Crystal Palace's beginning to the season, and West Ham's also. West Ham is in a good position. West Ham looks like they're in a good position. David Moyes has something fantastic going on for the last couple of seasons, actually. And yeah, I think they've recently purchased Kurt Zouma also from Chelsea, so we can just see West Ham going up. and onwards. So I was not really expecting, a draw over here. I was more like a West Ham win, or in fact, an easy West Ham win. But Crystal Palace did well, and Antonio. Obviously he was my lifesaver in terms of FPL. He's in the form of his life. I can see him getting a English squad call very soon, and yeah, he's doing great things. And let's see how it goes for them. But West Ham for sure, at least a Europa League spot is they are in the reckoning for that. Crystal Palace, incidentally, this this new kid Conor Gallagher, and he's playing really well, and he's everybody had been talking a little about him earlier also. So he's on loan from Chelsea, and he's doing really well. He scored both the goals for Crystal Palace, and it's nice to see a young English player do well in matches. So let's see. Everybody will be having an eye out for Conor Gallagher in case how well he does, and in case he's one of the next kind of stars. थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, but ठीक है, how he goes. Next up, it was Norwich versus Leicester. Norwich unfortunately lost another match. 2-1 was the result towards Leicester, and I kind of see Norwich getting relegated again this season. It's a sad story for them. हर बार आती है बेचारी चली जाती है, आती है चली जाती है, and yeah, so no, Leicester got their goal in the form of Vardy, who's obviously fucking refuses to age, and yeah, he's the English Ronaldo if you think about it, and he kind of, I think he got the assist for Albrighton's goal as well. So Leicester won that match pretty easy. Everybody saw that coming. Everybody kind of expected that to be a Leicester victory also, and that's what we got. Moving on to the next match, which was Aston Villa versus Brentford. This was a one-all draw, and this was an interesting match because of the way Aston Villa conceded the first goal. So first of all, Aston Villa has been pretty good in defense for the last couple of seasons, at least last season, and this season something seems off about them in terms of defense. Maybe obviously it could be the fact that Mings was not playing in this match because of some rib injury, and yeah, or Liverpool supporters will be the first people to understand the consequences of losing a main defender. So you should understand that. But still, the kind of space they had given in the while conceding the first goal, it was just crazy. You cannot give that much space to anybody. And Ivan Toney went on to score the goal. Ivan Toney is a very high prospect. Like everybody has been talking a lot about Ivan Toney because of the fact that. In the last 3 years, I think he has scored the maximum number of goals across the first four leagues: first division, second division, third division, and fourth division. So he has the maximum number of goals. So everybody had been kind of on the watch out for, can he do it in the Premier League? Can he do it in the top division? He's kind of like this year's Bamford, basically, if you think about it. Just kind of drawing a parallel over there that he kar payega. And everybody, I'm for sure certain about it that he's going to score a lot of goals. So it was nice to see him score a goal, and Brentford has a complete romantic story going on right now. Let's see how that goes. But Aston Villa would be kind of disappointed to not, kind of get a victory over there, and especially conceding the way they did. But Danny Ings got an assist, unfortunately, थोड़े मेरे को points मिल गए, and it was a one-all draw. But yeah, it could have been either way. Aston Villa could have also won. Brentford would feel that he could have also won it, but it was a one-all draw. Moving on to the next match, the next match, was I think Liverpool Chelsea, but we'll keep that for the final two matches which we'll talk about. So first, let's talk about Burnley Leeds. Burnley, as is expected, continues on their rough, crazy game. वो तो मतलब अखाड़ा कर नहीं आते हैं, and पिछली बार Klopp had also said this, that these guys are getting really rough and really वो that, and a lot of people had been critical कि hey इतना क्या रो क्यों रहे हो, but of course Burnley is Sean Dyche is his philosophy is like अरे भाड़ में गए wrestling ही कर लेते हैं, and Patrick Bamford actually made a very interesting and funny statement about a Burnley player that he was trying to do jujitsu on me or something. So it's just hilarious. So yeah, Burnley is playing really rough, and the problem with this kind of rough approach towards the game is that because this season Premier League referees are actually trying to let the game go on, not give away cheap fouls. But the moment they do that, when teams like this take advantage of it and just start bloody spearing and power bumping and choke slamming other people, then they have to take a step back and again go back to just giving away easy fouls. So yeah, these teams kind of take advantage of this. Is not a good thing. So it's not good for the game only, which is why I dislike it. But yeah, Burnley was very rough, but they would have also thought that they would win the game. They were pretty much leading the game till the 87th minute when Patrick Bamford actually got his equalizer. And but I actually see Burnley kind of getting relegated this season. Moving on to the next match, which was Tottenham Watford. Tottenham won that game 1-0 by a goal by Son. Maybe he was he going for a goal then in his free kick or not? I guess that's an answer that only Son can give. But yeah, the Watford keeper basically kind of thought that koi touch karega, and let it go. And Son got his goal. And Son's a wonderful, likable striker. So everybody kind of likes him. So it's good to see. And I'm personally I'm happy for Nuno Espirito Santos because I really liked him as a coach as well. And it's great that he's got a perfect start to Tottenham. It's basically 9 points out of three, and nobody. I mean, I kind of thought that he'll be good, but a lot of people did think, but nobody saw like them being top of the table only, and particularly with the whole rumors of Harry Kane going, and now that Harry Kane is staying, it's gonna just make things even better. So yeah, Tottenham has a perfect start. I actually, there's been rumors of Adama Traore also heading towards Tottenham, which I hope it does not happen because I hope Liverpool kind of takes Adama Traore. But that's also a possibility considering that. Adama Traore, of course, has worked with Nuno Santos, and yeah, so that could potentially be a move. So yeah, Tottenham is doing great things. Tottenham's fans' dreams come true. Seeing them top of the table and Arsenal there. So yeah, that's a good start for them. Now moving on to the final two matches, and obviously for me are more important ones, particularly, and for actually most people because this is one of the bigger clash of titans sort. Liverpool versus Chelsea, 1-1. I have a lot to say around Liverpool versus Chelsea, but let's start with the first, that bone of contention. Was it a red card or not? Personally, when I saw it just happening, I thought that red card is a little harsh because it seemed like the ball got deflected out of his from his thigh to his hand. So maybe like it should be a penalty. And does it make sense to give a red card? But later on, camera angle show his arm moving towards like this. He's just trying to get the ball away from him. Maybe that was a natural reaction. But if you're doing this to a ball right in the D, it's going to be termed as an intentional handball. So maybe that kind of did lead to it. Made sense for him to get the red card. Of course, every fan would kind of feel that hard done by if that's happening to your own team, and any other club supporter will feel happy if with that decision happening towards the team they're playing against. So I'm kind of glad that did happen because otherwise it seemed like Chelsea were looking pretty strong. And although James was in my FPL team, but okay, jo ho gaya, theek hai. But yeah. Chelsea was looking damn strong in this match, and honestly speaking, before that sent off, I kind of saw Chelsea getting couple of goals. Like this could have easily like Chelsea could have won the match. For me, right now, Chelsea is the strongest team in the Premier League right now. I mean, I understand Man City is getting goals left, right, and center, but overall package wise. Thomas Tuchel, what he has done with the Chelsea team, they've just stopped conceding goals for one, and add to that, you've got Lukaku. So for me, they are a really strong force to reckon with. For me, they are the strongest team, and the fact that in this game, after going 10 man, and they even stood up and did not concede one another goal, and they defended the way they did, it's really incredible. Liverpool, unfortunately, I was feeling very helpless about the way Liverpool were playing because it just seemed so weird. Like it seemed so frustrating because at one point it seemed like there's just lack of ideas how to go about this. In the second half, the first 10-15 minutes, they were playing great. It seemed like there could be a goal coming anytime. And actually, when Salah gave that cross with his left foot and Jota missed that header, it was a very unlike miss because you would at least expect Jota to hit it on target. Like most Portuguese forward players kind of they have the whole head thing nailed, and he should have got it on target, but he didn't. And if that would have happened, it would have completely changed the complexion of the game because obviously 10 man trying to get an equalizer, there's a lot more counter opportunities. But here there were just 10 people sitting behind, and but still, I think Liverpool should have won this at Anfield if you're playing. After getting an advantage of 10 V11, they should have really won this. I personally, I thought that Thiago would be gotten much before. Like even last year, it was pretty much the same thing. Like once they had a sent off, Thiago basically ruled. It was a proper Thiago masterclass. Maybe he's not completely integrated after because he was not part of the preseason that much. But I think Liverpool should be very frustrated about the fact the way they have gone about this game. I also have a lot of, I was very wary of the way Liverpool conceded the goal because there was nobody marking Kai Havertz. Nobody. Like, how can you have nobody even trying to, at least pressurizing him? Because, yeah, it was a great goal. It was a great header. But how can somebody's got to mark that man? It was just weird. And Liverpool right now, every time there's a corner, I'm not making this up. When the moment they conceded that corner, I had this sinking feeling कि अरे goal हो जाएगा इसमें पता नहीं कोई I mean I'm sounding like a proper superstitious मासी जी कि मुझे पता अंदर से लगता है पहले से but yeah I just did get that feeling and that's exactly what happened and yeah I think and it's also a little bothering how Liverpool just seems so non-potent and while in their own corners you just see that they will not get a goal and why is that happening? This Van Dijk, this Matip, there should be people trying to get goals or corners. And but yeah, it's I'm really disappointed with the way things are going for Liverpool. I just hope they buy some players because this is ridiculous right now. Because, I mean, and right now they're even rumors of Edwards, heading out, which basically probably is out of just frustration because of just not being able to buy any players. Like अब तक यार कोई तो नया खरीद लो यार, please कोई ले लो यार, Adama Traore कोई ले लो, please कोई तो ले लो, and especially if you're going for player, please go for a non-African player because वो AFCON के वक्त वैसे ही हमारे कपड़े फटने वाले. So yeah, a lot of unresolved issues with that match and a lot of frustration with that match. But yeah, I hope something happens quick for Liverpool and Chelsea. I've already said I really expect them to do really great this season. Moving on to the last match, which was Wolves versus United at Molineux, and yeah, this was a buoyant United with all its Ronaldo is coming home, yay, we're gonna be amazing and all that. But it was a very reality check kind of match for them because Wolves ने उनके शुरू में कपड़े फाड़े हुए थे. Honestly speaking, Wolves should have won the match if they would have been little more clinical, or if De Gea wouldn't have been just crazy good, or in fact even Van Bissaka who made a last ditch save, goal line clearance, but. Wolves should have really done better in with a lot of their chances, and they could have just nailed this match. And the moment you knew it, the moment they kept getting denied the goal, you knew it that towards the end, कुछ गड़बड़ होने वाली. It sort of was one of those matches when you know that इतने सारे chances miss, you always pay for it towards the end, and that was it. Greenwood he got his. Goal, which was again a kind of there were a lot of some controversy around it, whether there was a foul by Pogba before the goal, and honestly speaking, it was a foul for me. To me it felt like a foul because it was right on the person's shin, so it should have been a foul, and it was right under the referee's eyes nose also. So why wouldn't he give that? But I think with the new regulations and everything, how much you want to go back into the game to concede or not give a goal. So there are new considerations given to that. So because of which the goal stood. But that was definitely a lucky moment for United. United would be very happy with those 3 points over there. That being said, Wolves were also feeling very undone by because they had been in a similar situation when their player, had committed a foul and they stopped the game, and United kind of didn't, and in the next 10 seconds kind of scored the goal. So Wolves were feeling very frustrated, but yeah, that's the way it is. You get chances, you have to take your chances, otherwise you will regret it. It's always like that. That sinking feeling that starts. उसके बाद कपड़े फटने ही वाले हैं. So yeah, that's basically the roundup of Premier League action this week. End of which we have Tottenham on top and Arsenal, pura North London, ऐसे पूरा बन गया. And now there's an international break. So next matches will be after 10 days. But tell me if there's something more you want me to cover. Some people have been saying that they would want me to cover the La Liga action, La Liga matches in La Liga and Serie A, Bundesliga. Tell me if you would want me to do that. If any discussion pointers you think that I should be covering more, I should have talked about, please let me know in comments. But that's it for right now.